Through the course of this upcoming video, I am going to show you through my eyes, actions, and camera lens the full experience of living through a long, cold, dark Arctic winter in northern Norway. As you share this journey with me through the dark, you will notice subtle changes in my moods and personality that are only visible now as we look back at these recordings in hindsight. In the moment in time they were captured, I was not able to identify these changes, and now looking back from the future, this adventure was one of my toughest and most rewarding life experiences yet. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this raw, uncut, and wild experience that I will remember for the rest of my life. Hey guys, and welcome back to Nordreise. We're in Arctic Norway, and we've just entered the middle period of the Arctic night. We get about 3 to 4 hours of daylight each day. Daylight, definitely not sunlight. The sun disappeared about 3 weeks ago, and it's not going to come up for another 6 weeks yet, and we're right in the middle of the darkest period of the year. It's negative 15 today outside and positive 23 inside, so it's nice and warm in here. It's nice now that it's cold. Like negative 15 is a really good temperature because this is winter. It's cold, dry winter, as opposed to 0 degrees and raining, which it can be at other times, and it has already been in November. We had a lot of that weather, and it's really miserable when it's like 0 or positive 2. And raining, it's actually a lot colder than when it's at negative 15, I feel. A team is made up of 20 dogs, and we pull a quad. We're running with wheels here because this is how we train in Nordreise. Later on in the winter we'll be running these dogs on sleds with skis. At the moment we have about probably 3 or 4 hours of daylight a day, so it gets light about 9:30, and then by 1:30 it's already feeling quite dark. So days are very short, and then up here in Nordreise it's kind of exaggerated because there is no lights anywhere besides the lights on the house. So if you look off into the distance or you go for a walk, it is literally just black, dark, and nature. Merry Christmas everyone from the Arctic. It's meant to be a white Christmas when you're in the Arctic, but this year it's not. Last year it was. However, this year we just haven't had much snow at all. It's so pretty here today. The colours in the sky are amazing. Izzy. It's just after Christmas, and we're right into the middle of the darkest period of winter, and right now outside at 11 o'clock, like, you would still be using a torch to work and do anything. And the darkest day is actually on the 22nd of December, but the few days after that always feel like the darkest. I find it was the same last year. It's just like not much sun is to be seen on the horizon, and especially now because there's no snow as well. So there's no snow to reflect any like the city lights or the lights around the buildings or whatever. So it's quite dark. When you have something to do, the winter's not so bad. Like you just keep going, and it's great. But now we're not working this week, and then there's no snow to go skiing or anything, and you kind of feel yourself going down into a little bit of a hole. And I think if you can see that happening, then you can get yourself out of it. But a lot of people aren't able to see themselves go down into that hole, so they end up in the hole and then they don't come out of it for quite some time. A lot of people take vitamins, especially vitamin D, to help to help with the lack of sunlight, and apparently it does help people a lot. Last year I didn't really get affected by the winter dark, and I didn't take any vitamins, and so this year I'm not taking vitamins as well. So I want to experience the true winter. If you get depressed, then you get depressed. I'm interested to see how that goes. And so far I'm fine. Like, definitely I don't feel very motivated like to edit a video or do work on projects or whatever. You kind of pick up the project and you look at it for a while, and then you're like, can't really be bothered. And it's very easy to watch movies. So yesterday I watched 2 movies. Today we're going out to a little lavu to sleep, to camp for the night out in the wind and the storm. Today is the 4th of January and it's 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and I just finished work back in my cabin. I've got leather here, and then down there in the corner you'll find Izzy. Both of them are having a good sleep, and then I'll show you outside. Very dark. I just finished work, and to be honest, I don't feel like doing anything other than go to bed and have a nap. And I know if I go to bed and have a nap, then I'm not gonna feel like waking up. You have to be really careful to only have like a 20 or 30-minute nap, and you have to be very strict on yourself to get up at the end of it. Otherwise, it's 5 p.m. now, and I guarantee I could lose a whole evening in bed very easily, and then I won't be able to sleep tonight. The last few nights I've struggled to sleep before 12 or 1 o'clock. The other day I went to bed, I was really tired, I went to bed at 9 p.m. and I still didn't get to sleep until 1, and it's quite frustrating. For sure, winter is affecting me at the moment. I can feel that I'm kind of a little bit down. It didn't help that today didn't really get light at all. It's so cloudy and it's raining, and we don't have any snow, so it was dark. I think I was using my torch the whole day today. On a positive note, however, a few days ago we went ice skating. Now usually it's cold and the lakes are frozen, but they're covered in snow. And this year is very different because it's 4th of January and we don't have snow yet, which is very, very unusual. And it means that all the lakes are frozen without snow, so you can go ice skating. And we actually went ice skating on Blå Isbanet, which is a beautiful, beautiful lake in Lingen, and we drove over there, walked in for about an hour, and we spent 3 or 4 hours ice skating around the lake and playing hockey, which was really, really good just to get out and do something. Yeah, that was definitely one of the highlights of the winter so far. And before that we went down to Tummockdalen, and we were able to have a good ski on one mountain. There was like part of the mountain was really good snow, and then the rest of the mountain was not so good snow, but at least there was actually snow on the mountain. And it's the only mountain that we've found so far in the whole area that we can ski on, because all the others are still just frozen tundra on the surface, so there's no snow at all, which is really sad. Hey Toma! It's the 13th of January and you can see the light is really starting to come back, and we've got a beautiful sunrise here this morning, except the sun's still not rising, but at least the sun is getting closer to the horizon now. Today is an amazing day. After 2.5 months, this is the first time that we can see sun on the actual mountains. We can't see this direct sunlight yet, a couple more days for that, but it's incredible, and everyone's mood has got so much better because of this. You can see it on top of that mountain, Little Blommen, and then on Storblommen and Hollandalen. I'm back in Nordreise now, and I still haven't seen the sun. I've seen it a couple of times on the mountain, and right now you can see it up on the mountain over here, which is really cool, but we haven't actually seen it yet. And from here I don't think we're going to see it for another couple of weeks, because we have this big hill here behind us and between us and the sun, so I don't think it's really going to come through. It's been super cold. It's about -15 here at the moment, so when you get some wind and it's -15 degrees, it feels more like -30 degrees, which is brutally cold. This morning my fingers have been struggling to stay warm. Anyway, that's just one of the challenges, and you can see the full moon there behind me. It's super, super pretty. My mood's been a lot better for the last probably 4 or 5 days, because I've been out doing a bit more things. It's the 26th of January now, and I still haven't seen the sun. I have a day off today, and I was hoping today would be the day and I could go up a mountain. But as you can see, it's kind of quite grey and cloudy, so there's really no point doing that. I'll save it for a day when the sky is clear. So instead I went for a little hike. I went to the end of the road up the Nordreise river and went for a little hike, and now I'm actually walking on the frozen Nordreise river.
Is he come? Come on.
With East here, and we're being really careful because we are walking on a river and it can be quite dangerous. But anywhere that I can see the ice, it looks to be about 30 centimeters thick, and there's been people skiing on it and people even taking snow machines on here, so I'm quite happy that it's solid enough to be walking on right now. You have to be really careful, because if you do fall through the ice, especially on a river, the current of the river will pull you under, and then you will disappear under the ice and never be seen again. So you do have to be very careful, and I'm walking along the edge of the river just in case. So if you did fall through it, you can see the stones through the ice, and it might only be like knee deep or something. East loves it. She's really keen to go back to the car now, so that's why she's pulling quite hard. And she was starting to run away a little bit and not want to come back, so I put her back on the leash. For the first time since the very end of October, or maybe it was the beginning of November, we can see the sun. It's been about 3 months of no sun. I think quite a few of us are going a little bit crazy in that time. It's amazing. Been so long, my camera is struggling to focus. Two, one.
Okay, up.
Today is negative 20 degrees, super cold, and we've had quite a lot of snow the last few days. We are going back to Tromso today. It's the end of our time here in Nordreise. Finally, on the 10th of February, we have enough snow to go back and start sledding in Tromso. Usually this would happen in early November. The dogs would all go back to Tromso, and at the latest Christmas. This is actually the latest that they've ever been still training up here in Nordreise. And it kind of signals the end of the dark winter for us. The sun is coming up now for a few hours each day, and it's been super cold. We got some snow, but it's been bright and sunny, which is really nice. We have about 50 centimeters of snow here now that I'm trying to walk through. That's so cold. It's now the middle of April and winter is well and truly over. Now, looking back at the whole experience from now is really quite interesting, because I think it was a lot more challenging than I actually thought it was in the process of the winter, because it kind of extended even once the sun came back. A lot of the lethargy and the lack of motivation to do things kind of extended well into February and March as well, I found. And looking back, this winter was far more challenging than the previous winter, when I was working very hard here at Vilmark Centre with lots of tourists. But it was different because I was told what time I needed to get up tomorrow and what work I was going to be doing. And it was just like repetitive, and you did this just about every day. Whereas this winter there was a lot of work, but there was also a lot of time when we had no work and you have to make your own things happen, and it's just so hard to do that when it's dark and you really lose that motivation and everything. As far as side effects of not having sunlight, I think the one that affected me the most is apparently one side effect of lack of vitamin D is actually having a sore back. And I had sore back for months, and I thought it was just from carrying the food buckets when we're feeding the dogs, but now that's gone away. And apparently I did find on Google that it's a side effect of vitamin D deficiency, which is quite interesting. I didn't take any pills or anything for the whole of the winter, no supplements, and I think it was quite interesting to see the effect on me. And that's an experience that I will never forget, having lived through a dark winter, but not just that, but a dark winter where I wasn't doing so many things, and a dark winter where I was in a place for half of that winter with no other lights, other than the one light that we had on our house up in Nordreise. So it was a pretty special experience, and the moment that we saw the sun again, it was crazy. Nat and I were there with the dogs and behind Alta, and the sun came up for the first time in 3 months, so that was pretty crazy. That's an experience in a moment that I will never ever forget in my life. So I'm making preparations to head back to New Zealand. This is going to be the end of a large chapter in my life, and it's been a really special chapter, the time here in Norway. It's something I will never ever forget, the summer and the winter and everything combined. I will hopefully be back again one day, but hey, we will see what happens with the world. No one really knows at the moment. There's a lot of things up in the air. So that's all for this video, and if you do like the content on this channel, please hit the like button and share my videos, because it really does make a massive difference to help me put these videos together and make them for you, so we can close this chapter of my life and move forward towards another chapter, which is going to include me publishing a book. So that's really exciting. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.